Good morning. I had a request from a viewer who is the mother of a groom, and she also has a new YouTube channel, so I'll link that. I'll put her name and the name of her channel right here, and I'll also put a link in the description box. Let's begin. She wanted to know a look for Mother of the Groom. So I went ahead and pulled out my products from my kit that I would use to do a Mother of the Groom. So first of all, I would prime her eyes, and I think this particular viewer owns this product, so I'm going to go ahead and use it. It's Painterly, and I'm going to prime my eyes with that. Something that I've found is if I'm going to do a cool look, I definitely do not use, I've really messed around with the lighting for like 20 minutes. I don't know what's going on today, but this is what we get. Might be have something to do with where the sun is positioned this morning. Okay, so then I'm applying Painterly. I never use ochre when I'm going to do a cool eye look because it turns my colors green. It gives them all a green tinge because yellow and blue make green. So I think I'm going to do well, she says she has blonde hair and brown eyes. So I'll show you where I would go with that. And she's going to wear either a blue dress or a black dress. Alright, I'm getting that all the way up underneath that brow. I'm going to bring it a little bit underneath the lash line. Alright. I'll bring you in a little closer so you can see what I'm doing next. Alright, I'm going to take the Lawless palette, the one, looks like this. It has both cool and warm colors in it. I'm going to set that Painterly with the color First Base. It's a matte. I guess it's white. It's not white like an optic white. There we go. Then I'm going to take, I wore blue in case she decides to wear blue. I'm going to take a tapered blending brush. It's a E45 from Sigma. And I'm going to take a flesh tone. I'm trying to think. I'm going to take the color Everything. I don't know whether she has golden flecks in her eyes or not. Anyway, I'm taking the color Everything. It's I would say it's I'll just show you. Wow, my colors just aren't good in this video today. Anyway, the show must go on. Wow, that doesn't even look right. I would say it's a peachy color. It's a very light peachy color. What is going on with my lighting? Then I'm going to take DTR, which is a neutral brown. I'm not going to go real far in either direction. Okay, I'm going to take the DTR. I don't know what DTR stands for. You're welcome to tell me in the comments. I'm going to bring that around the top and the bottom. Keep it in the crease. There we go. Alright, and I'm going to keep that in the crease. I'm going to dance on either side of the neutral line. I don't know what time the wedding is, whether it's an evening wedding or a daytime wedding. Let's say it's a late afternoon wedding. And the reception will go on into the night. I'm going to take the color Cutie, which is a mauvey sparkly color, put that on the lid. Thus far, it'll go well with either black or blue, or black and blue. Most of the mothers that I know wear some shade of blue. Every once in a while, there'll be a black one if it's a formal evening type wedding. I'm going to take a pencil brush. This is the E30. Put it down there on the bottom lash line. And over here in the corner. I'm thinking since she has brown eyes, she can probably pull off more eyeshadow without it looking like too much. Smoking out those outside corners like that. All right, now I'm going to take the color Shady. And put it on the seam between the DTR and that metallic sparkly colored Cutie. Then I'm going to take Shady down here. I'm going to take a blending brush. This is a E35, and I'm going to take the color Baby. And run it on the borders out there. This is a cooler flesh tone. This is the color Plunge. The black that I was using in the... when I get the lashes on, they're gonna fan out right here on the edges, so I'm kind of mimicking that with the shadow a little bit. A little more Cutie right here. At this juncture, I like to go in with the brows. She has blonde hair. And sometimes brows can look harsh on middle-aged women. So let's keep it. I'm using a NYX palette. It's the Eyebrow Cake Powder, and it's in the color Blonde. And I'm using the lightest color from that. And I'm using an E75 brush. I haven't done any of the face makeup yet, which is good because I used a black shadow in the outside corner. And sometimes you don't even know you have fall down. It's so fine. It just makes the face look dirty somehow. All right, there's a... This brow kit has a wax in it. So I'm going to run a little bit of the wax through my brows. And I'm still using the same E75 brush. I just want a, a filled in brow like a young person would have, instead of a sparse brow like we tend to get. I don't want anything over the top. My face is looking very unsymmetric lately. I'm not certain what that's about. Looks just like my dad's face. All right, so that's what that's about. All right, so there's what we have so far. I'm taking my blending brush that I used with Baby and making sure all that's soft right there. The idea is to look pretty, not make a statement with your makeup, right? All right, I'm going to take another color. I'm going to take Crushing, put that on the inside. Like that. I'm going to take that original color First Base and stamp that under my brow. Look, make my eyes look wide open. All right, and then the Baby again. So this will be a neutral leaning cool look to wear with either black or blue. Do not know what's wrong with my lighting. All right, let's take a black pencil. So while the camera was cooling off, I finished up the black, I did a black baby wing, and I used a Pat McGrath pencil in the color Extreme Black and made this baby wing. Then I took the Trish McEvoy pencil in Arabian Nights and I put it, I don't know, 7/8 of the way across the bottom. And then took the sponge applicator end and smudged it. I also put a little bit of the Arabian Nights on the inner third of my baby wing, and I'm smudging it with the spongy end. That way it nods a little bit towards the blue, if you're wearing blue. And also blue goes really well with brown eyes. Let's go ahead and do the face, the skin. I'm going to use the Cover FX Blurring Primer. It's the color of makeup. Pretty. I usually apply this to my, oh, that smells good. To my client with a foundation brush. But I'm using my fingers just cause. All right, now I'm going to take a foundation brush, and the one I use in my kit is this one. It's from Sephora. Yeah, it's a Sephora flat foundation brush. And I'm going to use Makeup Forever Ultra HD in the color 127 or Y335. Most often I use airbrush, but sometimes if I have a client that's normal or a little bit on the dry side, or has some fine line concerns, I'll pull this out instead. I feel like the airbrush can accentuate fine lines. So when I do a client for a wedding, besides wanting to look good, since you see people you haven't seen in a while and you don't want to look like, you don't want them whispering about you, oh dear, she's really aged since I last saw her. Besides that, there's going to be a lot of pictures taken. And so even if you're accustomed to wearing makeup, which many of my clients are not, that's why they've hired me, is because they don't wear makeup on a regular basis. Their daily makeup regime is, mascara and chapstick. So they don't know where to begin. So if they have any melasma or anything, I take extra foundation. I have a couple age spots. I don't know what, I do know what. I don't wear sunblock, so that's what that's about. I don't know, they could be old curling iron burns that hyperpigmented. You know what I mean? That could be what that is. Anyway, so I go back, rather than taking concealer, I just take some extra foundation and do a little extra layer there. We'll get back to the eyes here in a minute. Or we'll get to the eyes right now. So most often I put Ardell Demi Wispies on everybody, unless of course they request, unless they request something more dramatic or less dramatic, depending on their taste. So I'm using, we'll pretend like these are Ardell Demi Wispies. I buy mine at Sally's. And I trim them to fit her eyes. I make sure that they don't pull her eyes down. I want her to look bright-eyed and bushy-tailed. I don't want her to look all stressed out and sleep deprived. I want her to look fresh as a daisy. Fuzzy. So I try to position the lashes so that they add to her eye look instead of take away. Do I ever have occasion? Yeah, sometimes I have an occasion where they don't want lashes. They say, you know, I wear glasses and you're not going to be able to see them anyway. Or are they going to hit my glasses? And I start, all those are clues that they've never worn lashes. And they're probably going to be uncomfortable in them if I make them wear them. And they don't want to be any more self-conscious or uncomfortable than this is going to be anyway. Alright, so I'm going to let those dry and I'm going to move on to the rest of my face. In my kit I used the Kevin Aucoin Making Faces beauty book, and I used this contour palette here. I use this brush, it's a Luxie. And first I take the bronze part. And if they have a lot of forehead and they're going to be wearing their hair severe off their face, I'll be sure to get, oh, but if you're blonde, you're going to need to be careful with the steps so you don't get your blonde dirty. But this makes, if she chooses to do a, you know, a severe look, hair-wise, pulled off her face, this usually helps. I don't think the mother of the groom that I'm doing this look for has a waddle or a double chin, but if she does, and I'm using the bronzer for this. If her jawline is starting to droop, that I like to sculpt it out a little bit with the bronzer. A lot of times mother of the brides already have prominent cheekbones because we lose the volume in our face as we get older. So more of a horizontal sweep with the bronzer rather than a diagonal, so she doesn't look too severe. Sweep it across the nose. Especially summertime outside weddings. I don't want it to look like this is the first time she's been outside this year. Just a tad on the chin. If she has a, you know, something about her nose, I try to correct with a little bit of shading. With mine, I'm trying to, my tip goes down, so I'm trying to give the illusion that it turns up. I'm using the darker color now. This is the contour. If I feel like I need to, I'll go back with the contour with the same brush and chisel out just a little bit. Like that. All right, let's make sure those lashes are adhering properly. This is not an Ardell Demi Wispy. This is some kind of stubborn lash that has a thick band. All right, let's do some under eyes. I'm going to use the NARS Radiant Creamy Concealer in the color Creme Brulee. This is a P86 from Sigma, and it gets right up under there. See how I'm taking it up the side to shape up that outside corner of shadow. I'm working more feathering the edges of this concealer to make it blend, and then also not move it out of the hollows. Feathering those edges. It begins my process of highlighting where I'm going to highlight. I take the residue and put it on the end of the nose and the Cupid's bow. I take the residue around the nose. All right. Now for a blush. For a blush, I like it to, I used to use Orgasm all the time. My Orgasm is busted up. Let's see if I can find a clean brush. I'll try to use it anyway. It just kind of works for everybody. It has a little highlight in it. And what I was saying about, yeah, you definitely wear more makeup than you normally wear to a wedding, because there's going to be photographs. And your makeup just gets lost completely in a photograph. Carry the blush a little bit through the eyebrow. I don't add any more to it, just whatever's on the brush. Clean up a little bit underneath. I have La Mer powder in my kit. And what brush do I use? I have a little Paul brush for that too. It's another Luxie brush, 660. Take that through the center of the face like that. put the mascara on. What do I use in my kit? I have a bunch of different kinds in my kit. I try to go with the long wear, water resistant, waterproof, that sort of thing. Black, I always use black. I want my clients' features to show up in a picture. This isn't a day for being coy. This is the Christian Louboutin. It has a nice spiky brush, separates the lashes. I do not carry this in my kit. Yeah, so put the lashes on first, then the mascara. They're not going to use the lashes again. They're going to pull them off and leave them on the back of the toilet with the intention of using them again, but never using them again and throwing them away. Or, I don't know, put them in a scrapbook? I don't know. They don't use them again then, though, I assure you. Got some mascara in my hair. I also have, I carry the MAC Nude pencil in the color NC15. I can't remember what it's called. And I put that on their waterline. Even if they have contacts. Unless they say no. If they say no, I won't. At this point, if I've gotten some white pen or some creamy pencil on the mascara, I go back and make sure those lashes are black. I use the lip scrub. This is the one I have. It's the Milani Keep It Sweet Sugar Lip Scrub. I used that this morning before I began. I do use that on a client if when they sit down in my chair, I notice they have scaly lips. All right, let's do a lip look. I have a Pat McGrath pencil in Suburbia, and it's a long wear. It's called Permagel Ultra Lip. I try to sketch out a lip for my client. I have yet to do a makeup look on a client that has filler. Sometimes I'll have a real young bride who will have full sexy lips. During this step is usually when my bride's maid of honor decides she's going to ask her a bunch of questions. Okay. That looks good in itself, right? No. Then I'm going to take the color Patina from Stila. Just 3 little dots. rub that in. That will hold up really well. That'll hold up to cocktails and everything else. This color is Babe Town from MAC. It's a slightly lighter color. There we go. That is 865 Nude Nuance from... Anyway, I'm going with a mauvey lip. The point is I'm going with a mauvey lip and giving it some fullness, because most often the mother's lips are not full anymore. Also, her lash line probably looks pretty deserted. So, some boldness at the lash line and some false lashes will bring attention to her eyes. Her eyes won't blend with her face anymore. And, you know, a nude lip is alright. Mauvey lip generally looks good on most people, and it definitely looks good with blue or black and day or night. Alright, so if you like a little sparkle, this is a lip gloss. It's Viva Glam Arianna Grande. And then, I generally do not put highlight on my, and it's looking like my mother needs more color. There. That would go really good with blue. I'm going to back off here in a minute. Then to make the makeup last, it should last pretty good anyway. Let's dust the powder off. I don't know why my lighting is so bad. I've probably touched something on my camera again. Here, let me back y'all off. There we go. I'm going to do some Urban Decay Chill Makeup Setting Spray. I think this is especially helpful for, and this is the fan I use in my kit, for a mother, because I think this is especially helpful for mothers, because it makes all those layers meld. The Chill Setting Spray and the fan. All right, this is my Mother of the Groom look. I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making this video for you. If you have any more requests, I hope you enjoyed this. I enjoyed making it for you. If you have any more requests, leave them in the comments.